the name of the chapter is Means of Communication. So there's a small activity which is given here. It says write yes or no. All right. So we will indicate yes with Y and N with no with N. You like to talk to your best friend on telephone? Yes, we all do. You like to watch programs on television? Of course. You like to read newspaper? Yes, if you don't, you should develop this habit. It's a very good habit. And do you like listening to radio? I love listening to radio. When I go for a walk or when I'm driving, I cannot, drive, or I cannot go for a walk if I don't have my radio on. And you like to write a message to your friend? Yes, we all do. All right. Now let us start reading this chapter. Exchange of information using oral or written words is called communication. What do you mean by oral? Oral means something which is spoken, and written, that you write. So when you exchange information by talking or by writing, this process is called as communication. Talking is one of the most common ways to communicate with each other. We can also convey messages through movement of our hands, our facial expressions, and through our gestures. So sometimes when we are doing something notorious in the class and our teacher looks at us like this, so we understand that she's trying to scold us, or she's trying to tell us, no, you're not supposed to do it. Or sometimes we are maybe doing something wrong and our parents would say, what does that mean? No. So you also use your hands, or you also use certain gestures or facial expressions to communicate. This is called as non-verbal communication. How do you use your facial expressions? So let's say you meet a friend and you're like, so immediately there's a smile on your face. So that smile tells the other person that he or she is welcomed, or you are happy to see that person. So 3 ways of communicating. One is using words, like we are learning this chapter right now and I'm explaining you this. So I am communicating with you using oral communication. When I write something, like your teacher, the teacher would write something on the board, all right, that is written communication. When we are using our hands, our facial expressions, or any gesture, that is non-verbal communication. We communicate with people to exchange our ideas, views, thoughts, etc. So if there is a question, why do people communicate? We communicate to exchange our ideas, views, thoughts, etc. The different ways of communication with different people are called means of communication. And now we talk about what are the means of communication. So the oldest means of communication, how did communication take place? Like many years, many centuries back, people used to send either messages either through people or pigeons who acted like messengers. Do you see this pigeon? And do you see something on its back? This is a scroll, a rolled paper put in a small metal box, which was tied to the pigeon, and then this pigeon used to carry that message to the person to whom this message was to be delivered. Such means of communication took too much time. They were also not very effective. There was no surety if message was delivered or not. And now we talk about modern means of communication. Today we have means of communication. They are fast and effective. So when we talk about the individual communication, there's a sender and there's a receiver. Sender, one who sends the message. Receiver, one who receives the message. Now, like we are talking right now, who's the sender here? I am the sender here, because I am trying to send you a message. What is the message? That I am explaining you the chapter. Who is the receiver? It is my dear students who are the receivers here. All right. Telephones, letters, and computers are means of individual communication. So first we talk about telephone. It is the quickest means of communication. We can make call to a doctor, police, or the fire station in case of emergency. We can also find out timings of trains, buses, and air flights on telephone. And then it says telephones are of two types. One is a landline phone. So you can see this is a landline phone. And of course, even when landline phone developed, you also had cordless phones. All right. So this phone that I'm holding in my hand, this is a landline phone and it's a cordless phone. All right. Why cordless? Because it doesn't have any wire attached to it. All right. Then it says landline phone is connected with the help of a telephone cable. Mobile phone, it can be carried to any place with you. So here is my mobile phone, right? But you should avoid using them for long hours, all right? And you're too small to use mobile phones. So mobile phone can be carried to any place with you. It can be used to send messages. We can also use internet in this phone, right? So this is the, so here we have learned about telephone as a means of communication. Now we talk about letters. People have been writing and sending letters since olden times. We write letters on postcards, inland letters, and aerograms. We also paste a stamp on them before posting them into letterbox. Now, what is an aerogram? Aerogram is a letter that you send through air modes of transport. We use speed post and courier service for fast delivery of letters. We write a 6-digit PIN code. That is the, what is the full form of PIN code? What is the full form of PIN? Postal index number on the letter or parcel with a complete address so that it reaches the correct destination. So see, this is the advantage of modern means of communication. That if I have to call someone, obviously I will call to the right person. If I have to write a letter and I write the correct details, it will reach the right destination. So here you can see these are the letters and the postcards, images of letters and postcards which is given here. And maybe this year what you can do is on New Year or Diwali or maybe Christmas or Holi, whatever festival you want, what you can do is, how about rather than sending messages or sending WhatsApp, things like that, or wishing people here and there on social media, maybe what you can do is you can buy a greeting card and send it to your relatives and see how they react. All right. So the next means of communication is fax machine. Fax machine can receive a written or a printed message. It is used to instantly send a copy of the letter. In order to send a letter through fax, we need to know the fax number of that person. So it's like on mobile phone, we send a message and we write the number or the name of the person to whom the message is to be sent. In fax, it's a letter that we write, but in order to send it to a person, you need the number. Like you need a phone number, you need a fax number. All right, and it reaches the person instantly. The next means of communication is computer. It is also used to send and receive messages, thoughts, and information through email. It helps us to connect and communicate with people all over the world through internet. It is very popular, fast, and inexpensive means of communication. So computer or a laptop, this is the most common means of communication that we are using at present. And it is very popular, it is fast, but it is, and how do we send messages using computer with the usage of internet, right? Now we talk about mass communication. First, let us understand the meaning of the term mass communication. Mass communication means involving a lot of people. Let's say I have to send a message to hundreds and thousands of people. Is it a good idea that I write a message and I send it to 100 people? How time taking it is going to be? So there are certain means of communication which are also called as mass, through which mass communication can take place. Let us read about these. News or any information can be given to a large number of people at the same time through mass communication. Newspapers, magazines, radio, television, etc. These are the means of mass communication. That is, using newspaper, using magazine, radio, or television, we can send a message to a large number of people. Social networking sites are the most important means of mass communication, like your Facebook. All means of communication are useful in their own ways. Together, they help us to keep in touch with our relatives, friends, and world. So, what we have learned in this chapter is the various means of communication that we use to communicate with each other. But what I want all of you to take care of is the fact that you use these means of communication wisely. All right. Thank you so much.